Let's go back to Labor. There's been plenty of coverage in the press regarding Labor's cuts to the pensioners' energy payments. So much for the compassionate side of politics, but we'll park that to one side. And apparently it's getting worse. New research is showing that pensioners are now skipping meals because of financial concerns. How are these people meant to get through the winter?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Also, whilst in pursuit of net zero madness, we're not fortunate like the Australians where, you still have, in some respects at least, a viable energy policy. I think in this country, we have gone so far over the other edge that, we're shivering in our homes, expecting wind turbines to turn on. Just the other day, we had a storm called Storm Darren. And by the way, the wind was blowing so hard that the wind turbines that we're all reliant upon now weren't even spinning. I mean, make of that what you will. The problem here is that we're saying to people, you can't have gas, you can't have coal. We didn't go into nuclear, so we haven't got that. So effectively, you're stuck with sky-high energy bills, the highest in Europe, the highest in the developed world, frankly. And pensioners are now being told that their winter fuel payment will be taken from them as well. So basically, the Labour Party policy is saying to pensioners, you will sit quietly, you will shiver in the cold, and you will be grateful for it, despite your contribution to this country throughout your working life. I think it's an act of, as you say, where is the compassion? It's an act of great cruelty. And the idea that slashing it now at this point for over 9 million pensioners being a good idea when our energy policy is nuttier than a fruitcake, I just can't make heads or tails of it. I really can't.
Well, Labor are trying to save £1.4 billion, apparently, but I refuse to believe that there isn't room to cut costs elsewhere. Why? But honestly, why would you choose something like this?
Because of the simple fact, pensioners primarily do not vote for the Labour Party. They do not vote for the left, but pensioners on pension credit, which is a form of benefit in this country, who do qualify for the winter fuel allowance, they're not aware that they are able to actually get this payment. And they're making £11,000. That's not a lot of money. I very much doubt Sir Keir Starmer could survive on £11,000. The party claims to be the party of the working class, but now it's forcing pensioners, as you rightly identify, to choose between heating and eating. But we're a nation spending billions on international aid, on asylum within this country. Even if you've come here illegally, you get bed, you get board, you get benefits, you get energy bills. Your life is taken care of. Yet we can't seem to find the money to ensure our elderly have dignity and that Britain can keep itself warm at winter. Effectively, the Labour Party need to rethink their priorities because they are very fast becoming known and synonymous with that word betrayal, just as the Conservatives were and are. And that is pretty damning, as they found out to their cost, the Conservative Party. So I'm incensed by what's happening in my country. I don't recognise what's happening in my country, but I'm also filled with hope and optimism that we might actually get some change away from the Uni Party, because they've both made such a frightful mess of everything in this country.
Absolutely. But the Brits, you always do have a sense of humour, and the lacklustre performance of this government has sparked a Christmas parody song of Keir Starmer. Here it is.
It'll be freezing this Christmas without fuel at home. It'll be freezing this Christmas while Keir Starmer's warm. It'll be cold, so cold, without fuel at home this Christmas.
She told me that she doesn't get out of bed till midday because she didn't want to turn the heating on.
A video like this was bound to happen, wasn't it, Darren?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're right. You've got to laugh or you'll cry. I mean, hopefully pensioners watching this will be laughing themselves so hard that it keeps them slightly more moderately warmer than Sir Keir Starmer, no doubt, with his central heating blaring in number 10 Downing Street. I mean, this has taken the country by storm, right? This is channeling the anger, the frustration of millions who feel that betrayal. You know, Chris Middleton and the performers there, Sir Starmer and the granny harmers. I mean, if your moniker is Granny Harmer, I would suggest that your PR machine probably isn't working quite as effectively as you'd hoped. You know, this is a rallying cry. I hope it climbs in the charts and actually could become the Christmas #1, because we're not going to sit here while our pensioners struggle in this winter snap. You know, the biting lyrics here and the humorous take, it's serious, but it perfectly captures the mood. It's not entertainment, it's a form of activism. And that should be really quite scary for Sir Keir Starmer, because every download is a slap in the face to a party that just won 400 and odd seats in a parliament with only 650 of them. You know, that is a damning indictment of what decisions and priorities they've made whilst getting into government. 1 million old people, as you said earlier, skipping meals, millions more turning off the heating because they can't afford it. I mean, come on. We're meant to be the 6th biggest economy in the world.
Absolutely extraordinary. It is absolutely extraordinary. And it's not just the government, but we've seen a few recent examples of the police in the UK policing opinions that they don't appear to like. Here is the latest example.
Arresting you on suspicion of improper use of the electronic communications network.
I'm going to be arrested for posting on Facebook.
Made some comments that are offensive, obscene, and people have made a complaint about that, and it's transferred.
Can you tell me what this comment was?
We'll do that when we interview.
All right.
I know I've been very gobsmacked, I feel like, throughout this entire interview, but this actually can't be real, can it?
Oh, no, it very much can be. You know, I am the proud recipient of something called a non-crime hate incident. Now, the police in this country moderate non-crimes, and this was because I conducted an interview during the Black Lives Matter madness that enveloped the country over a dead American criminal. I had no idea why it came over to this country. I aired an interview with a renowned historian in this country, and as a consequence, I was slapped with an investigation that amounted to nothing. The Home Secretary even got involved, but I still have a non-crime hate incident against my name. Now, that, if you do a deep background check as a British citizen, that comes up on your police record. So it makes you sound like some kind of real wrong'un, when actually you're just a journalist who's exploring ideas that go against the consensus of the moment, the zeitgeist of the moment. So what's happening there? This guy posted on his social media account, and someone's made a complaint, and the police have decided to look into it. But I tell you what, the police are loath to actually look into burglaries, to look into theft, your phone being swept off the streets of London. They will do absolutely everything but police actual crime. We are fast becoming an incredibly authoritarian state in which the police are there to pervert what we say online over what's actually done to us on our streets. And that's how they quickly lose the consent of the public and the faith in them by the public, who, let's not forget, are their employers ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. And just for me, I have a legal background. The very thought of non-crime being on your criminal record, I just find extraordinary. But anyway, thank you, Darren Grimes. Thank you so much for your time.
An absolute pleasure.